Intimacy in close relationships. Webster's New Collegiate Dictionary defines intimacy as a state of close union, contact, association, or acquaintance. When taking a look at intimacy in interpersonal relationships, we have 4 dimensions of intimacy. The first dimension is physical intimacy. As we grow up, fortunate children are continually nourished by physical intimacy, by being rocked, fed, hugged, and held. Now, as we grow older, the opportunities for physical intimacy is less regular, but still possible and important. The second dimension of intimacy comes through intellectual sharing. For example, when you engage another person in an exchange of important ideas, a kind of closeness develops that can be powerful and exciting. A third dimension is emotional, and here exchanging important feelings. Sharing personal information can both reflect and create feelings of closeness. When you share your feelings with others or tell them personal things about you, a measure of bonding does occur. The fourth type of intimacy we have is shared activities. So shared activities can include everything from working side by side at a job to meeting regularly for exercise workouts. When partners spend time together, they develop a unique way of relating that transforms the relationship from impersonal to an interpersonal one. Some intimate relationships exhibit all 4 dimensions: the physical, intellectual, emotional, and shared activities. Other intimate relationships exhibit only 1 or perhaps 2 of the dimensions of intimacy. Although no relationship is always intimate, living without any sort of intimacy is hardly desirable. For example, people who fear intimacy in dating relationships anticipate less satisfaction in a long-term relationship and report feeling more distant from even long-time dating partners. A great deal of evidence supports the conclusion that fear of intimacy can cause major problems in both creating relationships and sustaining them. Most research does show that women, taken as a group, are somewhat more willing than men to share their thoughts and feelings, although the differences aren't as dramatic as some people might think. Male-female relationships come in second, whereas male-male relationships involve less disclosure than any other type. At every age, women disclose more than men, and the information they disclose is more personal and more likely to involve feelings. In terms of the amount and depth of information exchanged, female relationships are at the top of the disclosure list. Male-female relationships come second, whereas male-male relationships involve less disclosure than any other type. At every age, women disclose more than men, and the information they disclose is more personal and more likely to involve feelings. The difference between male and female measures of intimacy help explain some of the stresses and misunderstandings that can arise between the sexes. So, for example, a woman who looks for emotional disclosure as a measure of affection may overlook an inexpressive man's efforts to show he cares by doing favors or spending time together. Fixing a leaky faucet or taking a hike may look like ways to avoid getting close, but to the man who proposes them, they may be measures of affection and bids for intimacy. Likewise, differing ideas about the timing and meaning of sex can lead to misunderstandings. Whereas many women think of sex as a way to express intimacy that has already developed, men are more likely to see it as a way to create that intimacy. He may view the shared activity as a way to build closeness. By contrast, the woman who views personal talk as a pathway to intimacy may resist the idea of physical closeness before the emotional side of the relationship has been discussed.